you can use it however you want. I'll get you a couple different links for it. And if you're not happy, then we won't.
However, whatever.
Okay.
I'm tasting this Alfi.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to confuse me. I'm already too confused. All right. So I'd just love to hear just a little bit, like, what is life like now? What are you doing? What's your day like? That kind of thing.
Oh. Well, all right, I'll stop. Sorry, we're a bit crazy. Well, life has really changed so much that every moment of the day is totally being focused on what Father is saying in everything. And we have got a community, so we spend a lot of time with them, speaking about on Zoom meetings. But the whole thing is about how we have all changed in the past few years, Oh, it's so exciting, man.
Yes. Yes. So what's the change like? What's it about? What's it feel like, taste like, smell like?
Well, you have good things that feel really good and exciting. So you get that excitement, that exhilaration, new revelation starts pouring in to break apart what we always just assumed, what we were taught was truth, and it starts breaking apart and you start seeing deeper truth. At the same time, there are other times where it doesn't feel so good. And you start realizing it. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? And you start realizing it.
No.
And how it's so much a part of you that it's hard to let go. And then you go through a grieving cycle until you can actually lift up into the truth, into the freedom of that specific revelation that Father's downloading.
Beautiful. I love that. That's a wonderful way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And a lot of people, thanks for saying this right in the beginning. A lot of people, if they talk about it, they're like, oh, by the way. And I'm just like, look, every change is a hello and a goodbye, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I don't know how it is for you, but for me, it sometimes sucks.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So you're just integrate. You're both in big soul transformations. And is that both like, how's this happening in your relationship as well as in your own soul? What's going on there?
So
huge.
That's a big question. So Father uses the two of us to sharpen each other. So there's a lot of encouragement between us, and at the same time, sometimes there'll be a little bit of friction until we stop and go, okay, what is actually happening here? And we actually see where we're operating out of old programs or out of pain that Father's wanting to help us to heal from. So we actually do on our Zoom meetings and stuff, we kind of tag team. Father uses Titch to just go straight to the point and pierce through everything that people have built up. And then he uses me to kind of be the balm. Just, it's okay. You're okay. It's all right. You live.
So you're like good cop, bad cop.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And that's for your own relationship and also inspiring other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is that like? Did you get a calling? Have you been doing this? What are you doing?
Master sheds. Okay. we met in 2010 in Israel, and we were both working there. And Father had told me that things were going to change. Came 2014, we were working, I have to just clarify, we're working in this very deep evangelical ministry. So everything followed the rules. And because we had moved in together and everybody knew my past, they assumed. So we were labeled partners in crime, you know? And anyway, in 2014, the whole assignment that we had been there doing for the kingdom came to an end, and I came down with Meniere's disease. And then a few months later, I had 2 strokes, which totally took me out, and I went beyond, and I came back. And Alfi came to South Africa when I was shipped back here. She came back to help me get back to life. Father had told us, fish hook and a food truck. So we stupidly came here, believing we were going to buy a food truck and go cook and make people happy. Meanwhile, we the food truck. But the point is, I came back with no memory, no soul, no understanding of anything to do with the world at all. And he said, you will not get it back, you don't need it. So he set me on a program of listening to specific teachers. And then she came back from America. She had to make a trip there, and we both then spent 1 year. We had no money, but Father always provided, and we spent a year of eating peanut butter sandwiches and listening, absorbing. So I was totally reprogrammed, and that made the difference, because she comes from life looking for the soul coming up, and I'm here trying to put the soul together. And it has worked in such a beautiful way into helping people, because I can only see things from Father's side. I can't see in the world's aspect. So I just feel it. And she comes behind and she then explains it. And it flows together so beautifully. You know, and really it has grown our individual relationship together. We had to go through so much with each other and with the world and people who came here, because in our life together is like being married. And that is mind-boggling to people, some people. But because of my past, and because we know that we have really got something strong together as two in Father, we know he's going to open this up now to call in that section of the population that have always been banished from hearing Father.
Yes.
So it's a big plan he has, and we just started walking along the way. You can check from your side.
So in that, Father's also had to break down a lot of mindsets within us, and we actually watch people's reactions to first meeting myself and Titch, and gauge where they're at in Father, and then are able to speak through them in that way. After Father started providing for us, and we started being able to have a bit more, we could buy internet and food.
All right.
Yeah. And got involved with some people who do heavenly realms and some Zoom groups and things like that. And it started just broadening our understanding and breaking religion off of us into the freedom of who Father is, who we are, and growing us in that way. And as the more we got into it, the more Father started just bringing what he wanted us to do. And so we have a whole community where we have about, I don't know how many groups off the top of my head. We've got several groups that meet every week, and we just go in together, just whatever Father is revealing. And it's a platform for everyone to be able to share. You know, Father, we open it up, we reveal what Father is doing at the moment, and it gives people time to look and actually share and voice what they're seeing as well. So it's not just one person talking all the time, it's everybody being able to share, and you get to see through everyone sharing from their own personal individual perceptions, the bigger picture of revelation that I wouldn't have thought of because I'm not that same person. And so in that, we're just seeing how many people are stepping more and more in strength and courage and so deeply into who they are in Father. And in the process, we ourselves have been doing it as well. And
they are growing themselves.
Yeah.
And all we are doing is showing them there's the water, there's the fertilizer. Really do that and grow yourself, because things have changed so dramatically that unless we do, we can't own our freedom.
Yes, gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how thrilling. And so let me just be clear on what we're saying. You and they are in a dance in which with different groups of people, in which you're informed by stuff in the world, but you're going into like your soul senses, into your direct spiritual experience, and you're all having its different perspective of the elephant.
Yeah.
Right, so it's just like it's a wall, it's a rope, it's a right. Oh wait, we all can say together it's an elephant, like that.
Yes.
And tomorrow it's a donkey, and the next day it's a heron, and
yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
just like yeah, I'm just making sure we're saying this what I think we're saying.
Yes. Yes.
So so we're informed by the world too, but particularly from direct, our direct experience of the divine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you look at things in the world and say some negative things popping up, some horrific things popping up or something, and you look at it and you stay in it, you stick and stay in that soul realm of the negative frequency. But if you look at it from the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
you actually see what Father is doing behind the scenes, and you can start seeing what he's doing and start actively releasing with him in that for things to come right without actually trying to go and chop heads off or in the spirit and all of that. It's moving where Father is moving and just working with him.
Right.
I think the question is really, do you regard Father as your dance partner? That's it. Because if you do, then you see all the steps and you feel the movement and the flow, and everything is intentional and has purpose.
Yes. Yes. Gorgeous, beautiful. And so are you coming with any tools about how to perceive better or how to move, or it's all just revelation, it's all just perception and dancing with?
Mostly revelation. There are people that Father highlights for us to listen to confirm what he's saying. So it's the confirmation. How would you say?
For me, it's all about doing the flow.
Yeah.
Because if you can understand that everything happening to you, if it's negative, it's Father showing you what you no longer need. So he's highlighting it for you to get out of it and release it back wherever and move on later. So for me, every day is all about that. When you feel something that is rocking your boat, okay, Father, what are you saying? What do I need to learn from this?
Yes.
And they just carry on. Let it go. Work it out. Let go. Carry on. Don't dwell on it.
Yes.
Because you've got to trust him. He knows which way to move. We don't.
And the amazing thing too is in sharing things with people, can hear Father directly. What they say has value. It's changes with the person or changes with the group, because a group atmosphere is one group can be different from another just by one person, and it changes the whole feel of the group. And so it's just kind of bringing different ways in speaking about that they do have value, that they can see, that they can hear Father, they can move forward with what they feel Father is telling them. It's based on the individual, so saying it different ways, trying different ways until we see that clicks.
Yeah.
For
Yes,
someone.
yes, and the whole thing is the misconception of words, how we
Yes.
understand a word. Because
Yes.
when we say, see, Father, people are waiting for the Big Bang super spiritual explosion like the movie.
Yes.
But you see, Father, in even just a leaf blowing across the road, because there's a purpose for that leaf to be there. You can see, Father, in somebody's smile, in somebody's pain. You hear, Father, in so many different ways, other than just waiting for that audible voice. You feel the love, the joy in your heart, you know? So people get so stuck on, I'm going to see Father in the speaker life. Meanwhile, he's standing here in the face of a kitten or a cat or a bird or a person.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. I see it. I'm vibing with what you're saying. It's a beautiful, beautiful life. It's a beautiful ministry. It's a beautiful, 100-fold going on. There's a lot of ripples out of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, there is. And it's quite an adventure.
Yes.
I mean, we're living in an adventure. The world would say we have one of the most boring lives. We hardly get out of the flat. It's very difficult for Titch to get out of the flat because she's in a wheelchair and we're the third story up and there's no elevators. So, but man, just living with Father, you realize you're not limited. You're it's breaking those mindsets of, okay, this is limiting, but it's not, because every day is so different. And we've really had to learn to look at each day as being so different and just moving with the flow. I can plan to do something tomorrow and wake up the next day and go, that's not happening. Father's wanting focus over here.
Yes.
It's all about knowing. You don't have to ask permission to know that you are loved and that you love. We don't have to do that anymore. We can just love. You know, it's a whole
Yes.
different way of life, man. It's a
Oh
subject.
my goodness. Oh, I'm just, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a blessing. Yes. Amen. So speaking of amen, what's you guys seem very informed by Christianity and by Judaism.
Yes.
And do you want to just say something about that? It's just beautiful to see some of the things that you're sharing about that.
Okay. From my perspective, if you want to know the truth about who you need to know the truth about Father. And you can't just hear that from the 12th century onwards. You need to go back to the beginning. And the Kabbalah, for me, explaining the mysteries, which is the reality of Father, and tracing it from there all the way through. Enoch, Adam, all of them, Abraham, Jesus to us, because it was all his plan. He's never deviated on the plan. No punishment was ever intended, but he got so hooked into that way of life. Whereas if you look at life from the Kabbalah side, from the side of the Hebraic, all you can see and hear is Father, because even the language is the living letters that begin to dance to form the word which gives the sound of Father's breath. So you hear Father and see Him throughout the language, and you can't then just jump in somewhere in the middle. You have to go from the beginning and see the truth. All the way back for me, Genesis 1 is the blueprint to life in anything. You want to know anything? Look there, He will take you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And for me, I was looking at different things. There's a rabbi that we really like. Father keeps highlighting him, that we listen to, and just every once in a while. But one of the things I started just getting an understanding is, why would we go to Christians to learn about the Old Testament? Because we're being taught by people who have been trained to cut out all of Judaism.
Yes.
And form their own opinions, what.
Yes.
But specifically Rabbi Friedman, he brings things, he's Chabad, I think, but he talks about things in a way, like stories in the Old Testament. He's like, yes, this is what you hear, but it doesn't quite make sense. What if you hear it in this way? And he completely changes the story by using a different sound in his voice and explaining some of the things that aren't in the Old Testament, but are in other Hebrew writings or in oral traditions, oral stories being handed down that we know nothing about.
Right.
And it just brings in the love and the passion of Father right flowing right through. And it is so beautiful. I used to really only, I didn't really like reading the Old Testament. It didn't sound the way I was taught. It didn't sound like the Father I know.
Yes.
And to hear Rabbi Friedman bringing certain stories from a completely different perspective, it was like puzzle pieces just clicked all together and it made sense. It's like, oh, that sounds like my father.
We are all Hebrews. If we say we come from Abraham, as Christians, we are all Hebrews, and it all works together in one flow. This whole knot of many threads of every faith, every culture group of people see Father in a different way. And it's not saying that they are bad, because they don't call him like I do. They are connected to the divine. And all of it works together to make the flow of Father's love on the earth. So in the connectivity of all of us being one in Father, we can't cut anything out. Not where we begin and not what is around us, and always has been. The whole, my heart, the Western mindset has only been around for the last 200 years. But if you look at the other faith systems in the earth, they've been here for centuries. And they all see and hear and call Jesus by a different name. He walked the earth all the time. So if we bring all of that together, just the peace of Father, the truth in every belief system, because every belief system has one grain of truth. Bring that all together and get the big, complete truth.
Yeah, just like you were saying, in a group, you have different perspective, and that brings the whole picture. And now you're saying on a world scale,
Yes.
all the different perspectives bring the big picture. It's the same. It's the same.
Yes. Yes. Many levels, layers, dimensions. He's so big, you know, we can't even contain him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, I'm just so blessed in the vibe. I'm so blessed. Just being
Yes.
in the presence of you two, and how your slightly different resonances come. It's just beautiful to be with you. Thank
Oh,
you.
but your vibe is so wonderful and so open and so fresh. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So so I see these pictures, it's beautiful, and you've come more and more in flow, so you don't have to worry about so much about eating peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah.
And so things have evolved, and you have found your path. Like, this is what we do, and this is how we
Yes.
do it. And you have your cadence now, and
Yes.
it's beautiful. And you really had to step into the seeming void and find the rock beneath.
Yes.
It was a
Yes.
tough transition.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About like who you think you are and what you're here for and everything.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Our next step is looking at the type of kibbutz and seeing where that goes. But starting a small community of people who are involved in living off the land just with Father. See how that goes.
And where is the picture for that right now?
Oh, I don't know. I'd like it to be on a little island somewhere. I don't know. At the moment here in South Africa, it's, because I'm here. But we'll see, Father can move us to anywhere and say, right, yeah, let's stop here.
Yeah. Beautiful. So how did you end up where you are where you are in the world? How did that happen?
In South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Well, when she got sick, She couldn't work anymore, so they sent her here. It's where her citizenship is. And me, a few years before I moved to Israel, Father told me that eventually he would send me to South Africa. Now, I had been in South Africa in the mid-90s, and it was one place, well, actually the entire continent of Africa, I told Father I would never step foot in again.
Of course.
Yeah. So before he would let me, I had lived in Israel as well as a teenager, and then back into the States. And before he let me move back to Israel in 2010, 2012, he dealt with me about South Africa specifically. And he just said the word South Africa, and I went into a panic attack. And he threw a blanket over me. I could physically feel it. I could feel the wind swish around me. I could feel the weight of it. And it calmed me instantly. And he said, I've taken care of you your whole life. What makes you think I would not take care of you if I send you back to South Africa? And anyway, then he gave me my heart's desire to go back to Israel. And Titch and I started working together, started doing a lot of things with Father together, just working in his plan there. And we've heard at different times fish hook in a food truck, and knew that Father was going to bring us here. And then she got sick, and then the stroke. So she was shipped down here, and I finished the visa before the visa renewal in Israel, and I ended it and came on down here. And yeah, that's basically how
There you go.
in South Africa. It wasn't either of our first choice, but where Father says go, how can you refuse?
Yes. Yeah.
You can, but you'd be miserable. It's
Yes.
not fun. But yeah, it's so we had that vision of selling food in a food truck, and then on evenings or weekends or whenever, off days or something, going and just getting food to homeless or the different villages. And we're trying to figure out how this was going to work with no money and Titch in the physical condition she was in. And just kind of looking at this, and suddenly we started getting involved in the Zoom groups, and then creating our own. And in the midst of our own setting up, Father said, "You are the food truck."
Oh, that's so gorgeous.
We're like, wow, okay. So he's using us as a platform for others to see that they too. So it's like being able to feed others, but in a different way than what we first thought. But if we hadn't have, so we misinterpreted the fullness of what he was doing. But if we hadn't have moved forward in trying to go for that, he would not have been able to steer us in the way he wanted us to come to that understanding that we are the food truck.
Yes.
And
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's just, that's fantastic. That's a beautiful drum beat right there. It's just resonant, so resonant. That's gorgeous. And I think so many people can relate to this, right? Like, I think I'm being led over here. It's like, well, you're moving now. Good. That's so great. And the whole playing with the food, it's very early Christian-ish,
Yes.
That's
And
fantastic. Go ahead.
and just you just brought up a memory for me. In I speak it over once in a while when it pops up. In my mid-20s, I was so afraid to move forward, so afraid to do anything, because what if I make a mistake? What if I'm deceived? What if? So I didn't move. And Father started speaking, and I was living in the States at the time, and he actually used 2 country western songs, and I can't remember what they are. Yeah, he used them, and one of them, the chorus was "Make a Mistake with Me." And I don't remember the rest of the song, but that phrase, "make a mistake with me," it's okay to make mistakes. If you're not moving forward, I can't steer you. A car can't, you can
I
steer.
remember a
We're
song
not
like
doing
that.
it.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember. That's
And then,
beautiful.
yeah,
ahead.
and then the other one was, the chorus was, I think it was a George Strait, but the chorus was, I could have missed the pain, because I had gone through the divorce and everything through the song. I could have missed the pain, but that meant I would have missed the dance.
I think it's Garth Brooks.
Oh, Garth Brooks, okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
You're probably right. Oops, did we freeze? Oh, there we are.
I don't know who's the jarry one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what I like to say is we learn to walk by falling down.
Yes.
It's like we do it by kids and we do it in spirit, and that's
Yes.
just how it is.
Yeah.
And if we can't allow falling down, then we're not going to learn to walk.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to let go of ourselves and climb into humanity.
Yes.
Because myself was a really big. And once I climbed out, I could then grow into who I am. But I had to make the choice to change.
Yes.
And testimony, speaking about what Father is doing, who we are, is so important because it keeps everything level. So we don't keep looking at other people. We hear, oh, that person has overcome what I am going through. And it gives us the strength to move forward ourselves.
Really
A
does.
big lesson I had to learn. That was a big lesson.
It really does. And others, and also ourselves, I feel like there's times I'm just like, the shit's hitting the fan, and I'm just like, I don't know how. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I've been through something like this before. It was smaller, but I lived, so let's go. It really sucked, but I'm here now, so let's go. And we do it for each other, and even ourselves. We grow. It's just like, oh, okay, all right, I did it this big, now I could do it this big. It's so great.
Yes, it all has purpose.
Yeah, we mature.
Yes. Thank you, Father.
Thank you. What's coming is this whole picture that through the ages, through Judaism, the many different four people that we have in front of us, and Jesus, and then on. And then on from there, not stopping at the New Testament people, up, through you guys. It's the same breath.
Yes.
And how it's just so moving to see that picture.
Yes. Yes. It's a beautiful way of looking at Father's dream to create people, the super species, who look and behave just like him. And this is what it's all about.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It really is. So again, I just keep seeing this weaving. There's a weaving between the physical information, the history, the information, the
Yes.
amazing mystics and
Yes.
cool folks before us, and then
Yes.
also the move of spirit, and like, just, I don't know, it just looks like this wonderful weaving that you are so consciously a part of. And it keeps ringing. So I'll say, I have a rabbi friend who, she says, like, Jesus wasn't an anomaly. Like, there were,
Yes.
like, there's other people having similar
Yes.
conversations. Like, he wasn't the
Yes.
only one having these conversations. He wasn't,
Yes.
like, he's in his lineage.
Yes.
And I feel like that it's just so helpful to, it feels like a freeing up of this flow, just talking about it. So thank you. I mean, it's really, I'm noticing the effects of your ministry as we're sitting here, a little bit. It's
You know,
beautiful.
we need to remember that the written word of God is a collection of people's opinions.
Their journey.
Their journey. The whole thing about the Old Testament, that's what it is. For me, the only chapter in the entire book is Genesis 1. The rest is man to man. And so if we can get past looking at the written word of God is the beginning and end, and see the full truth of Father, of Jesus, Yeshua, call it what you like.
right.
He doesn't mind if we don't call him by name in any case. We need to break through all of those mindsets that there are rules and opinions. There's only Father's love, which is the protocol. And in this beautiful tapestry that we are all stitching together, we're all going at different paces, different places, but it's bringing the whole picture together.
Beautiful.
To look like him. That's the purpose. To be like him. And we are. We need to know that. We are. We always have been. We are simply diminishing all the scales, the veils in front of our eyes to see that the glory has always been here, the love. And the more we let go of self, the more deeper we see into the truth of his light.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. So what, if for some reason I want to bring up, there's this growing movement that people these days call deconstruction in Christianity. And I find it's very interesting. I'd love to hear your opinion, because it feels like sometimes people's path is to like come off of consciously playing in the stream that you're talking about. But it also opens up people to be able to play in the stream that you're talking about. So what is your experience with this? That people's minds are changing about what Christianity means or whatever.
Yes, very much so. That since 2020, the change happened there. And the flow that we took in 2020 was that Father shut the door. Nobody else, Father. He allowed. He stepped back so that everything that was happening on the earth was a way of people stopping to see themselves, other people, and him. It was like having the flood of Noah in a different way.
Mm.
And the people saw all of their worldly gods, their dead ones, in the church, in the world, collapse because they saw the truth of the whitewashed tombs. And it took people 2 years to adjust. And they have now come out of that and are seeing Father in truth, and that religion is no more. And it's between them and Father. Obviously, in different cultures around the earth, it's happening in a different way, at a different pace. But it's begun, it's happening, and we know, without a doubt, it's the year 5783. Moshiach has to come before 6,000 years, and it is said he will come before that time arrives. So we know whatever Moshiach coming means is going to happen. It's here in our lifetime. And everything we are going through now is simply a way of being able to see more and more of Father's love and the glory so that we balance with the light. Because the more of us on the earth who shine, Isaiah 60, the more who shine, the more we balance and create light on the earth for his light to be seen and thus connect. So we are doing Isaiah 60, 61, and 62 right now.
Amazing.
And you have the choice to deconstruct or to stay as you are. The whole thing is about the choice.
And, you know, Father in his just amazingness helps people deconstruct in a way that they need at that time. So if someone goes through and says, okay, I need to deconstruct my life, let's do it in this area. If it's a performance instead of going, okay, Father, what's in me that's keeping me from seeing a deeper truth? Because truth goes deeper and deeper eternally. There's no end to truth. So you see different aspects, different revelation of the exact same truth. And just breaking down mindsets, one of the things we really worked on in ourselves that Father kept bringing up was the way many people view Jesus, and how most of them actually don't see him as he is now. They see him as a man walking the earth. So there's that thing of, okay, well, that was 3,000 years ago. Who is he now?
Yes.
What is he doing now? What is he
What does
going?
it look like
What does
now?
he look like? What name is he going by now? Because he's been the lamb slain before time. He's been the Spirit of the Lord. He's Yeshua. He's Emmanuel. He's
Jesus.
He's Jesus. So who is he now? And one of the names that Father just that he revealed was Bo-Ray, which means creator.
Come see.
And Bo means come. It's a command, come, and Ray is see. So come and see.
Mm.
Come and see me create. Come and join me in creating. And he's not just ascended and then that's it. He's still incredibly active. And it's like, you know, people have seen him in so many different ways, in physical forms or in light, or you know, and it's like, well, can you say one specific way is right? No, he changes. He comes just as we need him to be. So
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of breaking off the man only perception into the fullness from before time to the here and now to after time. And it's just being able to allow Father, and you don't always know if there's something that you need deconstructing until it pops up.
Yes.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, let's go through this now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think what I can know is that there's something to deconstruct.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's like never ending. Oh, this too, dude. Is nothing sacred? No, everything's sacred. Beautiful. Speaking of this iteration of Jesus, his, you know, continual transformation, and also how he shows up for us is different. One thing that you noted, you said twice, Titch, that I kind of was like, what's this mean? You said how I was before. A couple times early in the conversation, you were like, people were surprised because of who I was or how I was before. I'm assuming before your illness. There was like a big transition and an unexpected. You're unexpected now who you are.
I knew my whole life that God was real. I did the rounds. From Lutheran to Methodist to Anglican to Holy Roller in the 70s. Then I became a chef, so I couldn't go to church. But I had times of wandering away intentionally. The father would bring me back and sit on me. And then in 99, I got involved in the whole church thing. And it was a shock for me because I couldn't understand these kind of people, but they were God people, but they hearts, you know. So I spent the last 15 or 16 years in that churchy mindset. And inside of me, I knew the truth. We used to fight all the time in Israel because they knew I spoke to angels. Oh no, you can't do that. So I had to hide my true self. And I longed for the day I could be exactly who I am. Being gay was a simple state of mind which got me through life, so I didn't walk alone. But after I had the strokes and whatever, I came back. There was no ways I could ever say I'm suddenly changed, I'm pure, I'm whatever, because the whole thing about being gay, which also is misunderstood, it's a state of being, it's a state of mind. And there is no difference between believing me to be a strong person in Father outside of being gay, or whether I still say I'm the same kind of person. I just don't practice that. but being this person who will not compromise, because I had to compromise in the church on truth. And for me, truth is the beginning and end. So, yes, I can only speak truth. If you come and sit in front of me and you're trying to hide behind an excuse, I see and hear, and I tell you straight, I'm sorry, I'm hearing this, I'm feeling this, a vibe from you. And then, when people are confronted with truth, they have to listen or run away.
Yes.
And so it's been a challenge for me to actually own this place of sitting, only speaking truth, not being concerned with anything outside of that. And it's been a big shock to people who knew me before, because, I don't. She remembers, I don't.
Beautiful. So a whole lot of freedom. A whole, just free.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm just not playing with that. That's just not, that window just blows right by. It's not mine.
Yes, we don't have to. That's the thing. When something negative comes up in the world or in our sphere, we think we have to look at it.
Right.
We don't.
We don't.
If we are not responsible or accountable, why are we even looking? It has nothing to do with us. So for me to learn that was such a truth, such a freedom,
I do know. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do know.
Yes.
So many things you're saying, in my experience, so many things used to hook me. And I'm just like, I don't care. I'm not playing.
Yes. Yes.
I have bigger fish to fry. And so do you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me switch over.
Okay.
It's gonna pull it over. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. Oh, so we're on your phone now? Oh, can't hear you. Let me ask you to unmute.
Sorry. There we go.
Oh, it's all good. So I'm so grateful that you could stay. So I feel like I am so blessed in this conversation. I can't tell you. And I hope that so many watch and taste and see what you're serving. It's really, really truly beautiful, delicious vibration and message. Thank you. So I don't want to push you past, you said an hour, and I don't push you too far past, but what else, what did you come wanting to say? Anything that you were thinking that you might want to share that you haven't?
No, just with part of our journey, as you go through and just follow what Father's doing, he brings people around you. So you lose a lot of people, but then you start gaining a lot. So within our groups, Father just brought people around. So we have teams that open, that pray for the people that come onto the groups, that just really release to them and bring different perspectives as well. So it's not just a one person or two people speaking, but we have several different teams that just bring their thing as well. And man, it's so beautiful. And a lot of times in the world, there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
that what I say is right, or because I say it like this way, or I need the limelight, and nobody in the team on the teams are like that. So it's such, man, what Father has done in building up our community on Zoom in the different groups has just brought in so many people whose hearts are purely for him, and there's no strife, there's no competition, there's just the love of Father.
Yes, the desire to go deeper into Father and Earth, to see who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a beautiful thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course.
Yes. Yes. It's such a privilege
Yes.
for, you know, for us to be in the game, for us to be in the river, but also to be in the river with so many other just unique people doing, you know, doing what they're here to do.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
I love the whole mystical flow of Father, because it all adds in. Because if you follow the history line of faith back through time, all the Celtic saints originally came from the 10 tribes who moved into China and Europe before then. And so there's been this continuous flow of Father in every nation on the earth. And he brought it all together so that the truth could flow into the 21st century. And if we just see how we are part of the mystical thing in the Kabbalah, in the Celtic saints, in all of that, it's all about being who Father said we are. People are speaking in the here and now about being like Enoch. We are all going to be like Enoch. It's how everyone is going to look in the future. So jump on board now and get your act together. Stand in balance in the truth of who Father made you to be for the earth. And let's go with the game. It's getting more exciting, brighter, shinier, oh, exciting. You know, that's the way it is.
Yes, that's the way it is. It's gorgeous.
Amen.
Oh my God, so beautiful. So beautiful.
And yeah, the encouragement and the excitement that if you hear the doom and gloom things being spoken about, instead of allowing yourself to go into that fear, it's like, no, Father, what are you doing in this? And you get to see him moving, and you get the excitement and the restoration, the healing that he is doing, not just in people's lives, but all of creation. It's just incredible. And yeah, like I said earlier, it's such an adventure. And yes, we have lost a lot, but we have gained
eternity.
We have gained eternity.
Amen.
In the here
Amen.
and now. We don't have to wait for it. It's here.
Yes.
Yes.
And you will die by choice. Because in the future, no man will die. Right now, you have the choice. Me, I am immortal. I will say that. Because we all are, if we choose to be.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh,
And I have
okay.
to say, if I may,
Yes,
that you
please.
are one of the most beautiful, gentlest, portals I have come across in the whole community of life. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
You shine and
Yes.
radiate
Yes,
from your face.
yes, beautiful.
Well, when C.S. Lewis said something like, when the coals of the fire are brought together, they shine brighter, something like that.
Yes,
Like that's what I'm
Yes.
experiencing.
yes. Amen. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
So are there any I plan if you're comfortable, I plan to put this in the Mr. group that's Christianish.
Yes, do what you please. No problem.
And and so given that it's people who are in or coming from or whatever the Christian background from wherever, do you have particular resources that you haven't said that you're just like, oh, I love this book, this teacher, this, whatever. And then also I want to hear how people can contact you all to get into your groups or be in that conversation.
Yeah, we really enjoy Rabbi Friedman. We enjoy Mike Parsons, Justin Abraham.
Yeah.
Just whoever Father. Sometimes we just go onto YouTube and Father just says, "Hey, listen to this one," and so we'll listen, and then we may not listen again for years or whatever. So it's yeah.
Mike Parsons is one I would recommend because he speaks with no shadow of self, and he has completely deconstructed to the point where this man nearly cut his hand in half with a chainsaw and refused to have treatment. He healed his hand by speaking to it. And we saw it. It's real. So he's a man of the moment. He is how we are supposed to be. He's got so much belief in himself. And Rabbi Friedman, but beyond that, whatever Father tells a person, because I only listen to people as a confirmation. Otherwise, I get sidetracked. Oh, this one is saying that, but I hear this. So who's what? I can't do that. So.
Yes, I'm so glad you're saying that. Oh, sorry. Let me just say to Titch that that's such an important message. Everybody's like, let me find the truth out there.
No,
and it's
like,
it's in here. So let me find it in here. And then with discernment, be like, oh, that's mirrored over here and mirrored over here. Hooray. Go ahead. Interrupt.
No, that's fine. No. I was going to agree with Titch because not everybody that you hear that you agree 100% with. And that's okay. That is completely and totally okay. Because you hear confirmation of what Father's speaking to you. You hear what Father's doing with them, and that's great. You hear how Father's using this person's journey or that one's testimony to help somebody else. But I agree with Titch. It's and a lot of it has to do with their sound and frequency.
Yes.
So people that we may be drawn to, others may not, because it's not quite their sound and frequency. There's some people, there's nothing wrong with what they're saying. I just can't get hold of because of the sound and frequency. I just would rather listen to something else. And that's okay.
Yes. I totally hear what you're saying. Yeah. There's some people I can read little parts of what they say and I'm just like, that's good. I love that. And then I go on YouTube and I'm just like, I can't listen to this. Not my frequency. there's whatever in it, you know, seriousness, or it's just not the channel that it's just not my channel.
People need to stop believing in themselves that they do hear and see Father, that they don't need to be led any longer. We walk together as a whole family of Father, nobody leading anybody else. We help each other. We walk with each other. We encourage each other. The days of the superpowers are over. It all ended 2020.
Very interesting. That's really, I mean, it's certainly, it's just a really wonderful context to understand and bring, allow the blessing of what we've been through in the last few years instead of focusing on the loss.
Yes, yes.
It's amazing. Gorgeous. Okay. Thank you. And so if people want to tune into what you're offering and be in touch with you, what are the best ways?
Facebook. Yeah. So like connect in on Facebook, Messenger. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a group? Do you have a group?
Yeah, we have several groups, and
I mean, anything that's like public and comfortable, like comfortable for you to have people come in and start to taste what you're
come in. They
serving.
just need to contact us to get the link, and they are welcome.
Okay.
We have, if I may say, each group has a different aspect of life as a son on earth now. We have a family group where it's come together around the table, chat and sing. We have two balladeers who make music and sing. We have one group which is looking at the deep truth, the other one looking at the truth from a different aspect. Each one focuses on something different. On a Sunday, a deep mystical group. And so anybody can come on. Just please, we'll help them, show them whatever they need. And I really need to say this, if I may, please.
Yes.
If there is anybody who has quietly lived the gay life and who is needing to break out and come open, please, 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 it's our next step, and we are here. We are not here to tell you go clean up and go to church. I can't do that. I've been there.
Yeah.
I'm just showing you the pathway to understanding. We have always been loved. We were excluded because we were the smoke screen for the other people in the church's own perversity.
Beautiful.
You know? So, if you're listening or you know people who need to come free, who are deep believers but afraid to be that, please, we are here.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. It's we've come so far. We've come so far.
Yes.
In my lifetime, certainly in your lifetime, Titch, so far. And there's still a need to keep healing and keep inviting to fellowship and to be in the flow, because there's a lot of pain to heal.
Yes.
A lot of blocks. Like I have to choose. I mean, I remember, God, it was so many decades ago. It's just like, how do I love God and be who I am? And it was just
Amen.
like, it really helped me to be around other people. I went to a conference and I was like, oh, they're doing it.
Yes.
Okay, I can do it.
Yes.
So thank you for
Amen.
doing it.
Yes.
Right? Like it really helps to, again, be together and be like, oh, okay,
Yes.
they're doing it. I can do it.
Yes.
It helps. Beautiful. And also just to be in this vibration is like totally end runs the whole ridiculousness. It just really,
Yes.
I'm sure you see a tremendous amount of healing. Because
Yes.
the focus is not on what is not. The focus is on the truth and the love and the beauty. And that
Amen.
just
Amen.
heals it all. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Oh,
Yeah,
such
I'm
a
going to talk to a
privilege.
few people.
Such a privilege to meet you. Thank you.
Yes, I feel the same way. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I was led to be like, hey, let's play.
And here
Awesome.
you two for the price of one.
I know. I'm like, this is fantastic. So I'm going to put both of your names because it's definitely a two-person show. You know, like, Titch, you're kind of like, oh, Alfie will just come and like help with stuff. And I'm like, okay. And it's just like, no, this is a two-person show.
Always.
It's wonderful.
Thank you, Barbara.
Oh, bless you all so much,
Oh,
and all of your ministry.
Thank
Thank you.
Amen.
All right.
Thank
Thank you. All right. Okay, we're gonna go now.
you. Bye.
Oh.
thank you, Wendy.